part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. Oh boy, I am your host, Damon Royster, and today, y'all are welcome. We are doing it. We are talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, aka Avatar meets Waiting to Exhale. This is... I think that's going to kill. This is so exciting for me. I could not have been more excited to see Black Panther 2, and I've seen it. I feel good about it. But, you know, it's not all about me. Sadly, I have to have the voices of others to justify having a podcast. Truly, I would say this person is a rival of mine. They've been gutting for me since Bob Curry 2017. If you know, you know. Please welcome to your ears, actor, comedian, and known Kukulkan. It's Rolando Lepe.
I'm here to destroy. I'm here to come out of the surface. I am here. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Do you want to do this? Like, are you
No,
Namor and I'm Shuri?
Yes. We're gonna go on a nice romantic date.
Yes, and then try to murder each other, and then
like every first date.
Yeah. I mean, the ones I've been going on. Rolando, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I really owed you one after making you watch Spider-Man 3. Also, we have a second guest here with us, another Bob Curry alum from 2017. This is a Bob Curry season 4 reunion. BC for life was the hashtag. Rolando didn't like it. But Rob, none of them liked it. Okay, cool. Cool. Rob is on my side. Also, I said his name, actor, comedian extraordinaire, Rob Wilson. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing?
Hey. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Anytime.
I'm glad that you make it to this Black Panther pod, because I didn't make it to the first, which, you know, seemed weird to me. But...
Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a hierarchy.
Maybe you were on it and you didn't open the link.
Yeah. Maybe you should check your email. Also, don't come on my podcast and be rude to me. That's literally why you're here. I get to be rude to you. That's my game.
That's fair.
Okay, we're getting heated, y'all. I think this is going to be a hot conversation. So, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Initial thoughts. What do you think?
Initial thoughts. I think I liked it overall. I think my biggest thing was like going into it was like, man, this is just a hard movie to make because of all the circumstances going into it. Mm-hmm. And I knew that, but I'm like, let's just see what happens. And I think overall, Ryan Coogler did it, but I don't know if it's my favorite thing. Like I don't think I love it. I think it's perfectly fine for what it is. But I do wonder, leaving it, even though it was a long movie, I just looked up how long it was. I was like, can this have been longer? Because my biggest thing was like, it was very overstuffed, and it had a lot of themes going on that were like taking. Black Panther 1 had one overall theme of the tone of the movie, where I think this one had multiple things going on, and I just think you needed more time, or you probably had to just choose one or two. But he went for like 3 and 4. And I think it was just a lot to happen. Maybe I don't know how your audience was. In my audience, I think people liked it, but it wasn't like a movie where in another Marvel experiences where people are cheering.
Yeah. My audience is pretty legit. I saw it at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood, kind of a famous location. Sorry to name drop so early in the podcast, but yeah, it was a pretty solid Marvel house. You know, we had some cheering, we had some people, like some of these reveals. Like, did anyone, I mean, also, spoiler alert, everybody, we're going to spoil this movie. When Michael B. Jordan showed up, was it just dead silent?
For me, it was. I heard like a one little gasp, but I think it was a child.
Yeah.
Because there's
It was just like,
in my audience, it was like a 7 o'clock screening, and there was like weirdly a lot of families there.
oh my god. So it was just dead quiet, and this kid goes, "Oh no!"
No, I don't know if they were gasping because of Michael B or gasping because like their diaper had to be changed. I don't know.
You were saying that this movie was good, but not your favorite, and I think what I would say to that is like that totally makes sense because this movie we had to do this. Like we have to do this kind of piece because Chadwick Boseman did die in real life, so like there's no way around it. Like I think this was the best way to do this necessary movie to continue the franchise on. And I will agree that there were some stuff that wasn't my favorite thing. And I mean, I am a much more joyful person. But hey, if we're gonna be talking about grief, and I do think it was not an accident that Namor was the villain because I think the water imagery represented the grief that they were all drowning in. But I'll talk about that later. But going to Rob Wilson, what are your initial thoughts about Wakanda Forever? Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel?
So this Thursday was like a fucking like the blackest holiday ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was dope. Like when I saw this movie, which I loved, and then went and saw Atlanta, the series finale of Atlanta that day. So like
Wow.
it was just a certain amount of like wild black joy for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand where this wouldn't be people's favorites if they were not black, didn't feel the specific significance of Chadwick Boseman and that movie before, B, weren't like Marvel fans, right? So like they didn't understand what needed to happen with all the retconning and the continuity that they needed to fix to do this movie, or C, we're just kind of shitheads and didn't care for this dope movie. I thought it was great, but I understand what was missing because they did push. You know what they did? They pushed like those slow moments that they had in that Justice League movie, like the way that Zack Snyder did the Justice League movie, and they had those big, long, drawn out pauses and shit, like that didn't need to be there. Like they actually needed to be here for this movie, but if people weren't willing to wait through that, then I could see where this movie felt very slow and heavy.
Oh yeah, because I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love this movie. Like this was exactly where my mental state is at. This is what I needed. It's just the hard thing is like this is an actual movie. Like this is like beyond Marvel. Even though we have superheroes, we have superpowers, we have men with wings on their ankles flying around, making me feel all kinds of ways. But like this is like an actual artistic like movie with like something to say. Like the action pieces weren't the best part of this movie, I would say. But you know what? Let's dig in. Let's dig into it. All right. So we open with this like medical diagnosis, or like this medical issue. T'Challa off camera has this undefined disease, and Shuri is working in the lab to try and figure out a way to solve it. And Angela Bassett serves amazing. I love her so much. She's doing a lot of great stuff. Rolando Lepe, how did this first scene hit you? And like more specifically, like how they handled getting Chadwick out, getting that character T'Challa out of the franchise. How did that sit with you?
I thought it was perfect. I thought that the way it opened, I was like, oh, this is the movie, and it was like, I think it was just very well done, and like in such a tough situation because like it seems like what illness are you gonna give the Black Panther? It's like an unknown illness. We accept it, and if you know what the real life circumstances. And I thought that was beautiful, well done. And then probably like that Marvel sequence where it was all Chadwick, and I was like, that's beautiful. And I was like, yeah, I think I was like 5-10 minutes in, I was like, this is great. I had no issues. I was like, awesome. This is such a good, sad and love, and just like, oh man. And yeah, right now I'm 5 stars.
This I'm on the edge of my seat to find what it was that Rolando didn't like. But Rob Wilson, how did the beginning of this movie sit with you?
Yeah, I'm very much in the same boat. I just hate for this to. I mean, I love the idea of a love fest, but like, and Angela Bassett, Jesus Christ, like, I mean, what are you even gonna do, man? Like
What can you do?
she held so much gravitas like throughout her entirety, this entire film. So like, I will say I do think that I think that she carried a lot of water in the beginning of this movie. Hey, uh, but yeah, she did the majority of the heavy lifting. But honestly, that's fine. That was fine with me. It felt good. I knew that we were heading towards something. I just didn't know exactly how we were going to get there.
Oh yeah, amazing opening scene. And like for me, the second scene was my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes. I'll probably say that this entire podcast, but like the next scene where like she's at the UN and she boots the house down, like just coming in with this gorgeous outfit. Like I think the theater I was in gasped when we first saw her and the doors open and she's got this gold line dress. It was just fucking perfection. With these, who are these guards with these face masks and this amazing hair?
It's I recognize one of them. He's like a UFC fighter.
Oh shit.
I think he was the middleweight champion recently. He lost, but I recognize him right away because in real life he has hair like that when he first started, and he shaved it down because it kept getting in his way. But he had a haircut.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we just have the scene where like, because I think I said this on the Black Panther podcast that Rob wasn't on, but there was the world now knows about Wakanda, and of course greedy mostly white people are like, give me that vibranium, and so we reveal that like it's this
I do love it was the French that did it, because the French are notorious of hating black people.
I buy it.
No, both using.
Sorry for the jazz.
Both using and hating black people.
Yeah.
Their whole French soccer team's black, and they can't stand black people.
And then I remember, and I had that quick memory when I was watching it, that it was like I saw it on Twitter where it was like he was like a member of parliament, I guess, in France, and he was doing a speech about helping refugees from Africa, and then someone yelled from the parliament, "Go back to Africa." And that's like his own like Frenchman, what the fuck is going on, Jesus. So I just thought like, fuck, I can't stand the French. Never have no interest of going.
Too far.
Sorry.
Too wet.
I'm very anti-France, I think. I realized that recently.
Well, my friend, this is the scene for you. And like, the scene, like they're intercutting with the embassy, and then Angela Bassett has the Dora Milaje. So we see in the other scene, the Dora Milaje are the French people have infiltrated a Wakanda facility, and the Dora Milaje are already there. Shout out to Michaela Cole. Didn't have enough to do in this movie, in my opinion. But we see her as a NECA, and they defeat them. And then Angela Bassett signals them, and the Dora Milaje bring the fucking French soldiers in. It's just fucking cool.
The French soldiers bowed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They knew to get on their knees. Oh,
and it was just like, I was just like, yeah, this is the way to start this movie. This works for me.
Yeah, because it was just a nice way of like, yeah, we're sad, but we're still the most fucking powerful nation on the planet. So get out of here.
Yeah. It's the physical embodiment of don't come for the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's really nice.
That was really good. Then I believe we God, what happens next? Is this when the CIA gets attacked? Is this we meet Namor next?
The black site?
This is where they go to the middle of the ocean.
Woo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The scene's fucking crazy. Shout out to Lake Bell. Do you guys know Lake Bell?
I knew who she was. I was like, oh, she's gonna play a part in this movie. And then I was like, and of course, when the movie finished, I was like, I guess her part got cut.
Oh, dude, she got cut.
Why is she in this?
Who's Lake Bell?
Lake Bell is the white woman who was like leading that whole thing, and she's like, it's the Wakandans. She's like a pretty prominent like indie actress, and
I've seen her bunches before. I just didn't. It's terrible that I didn't know her name right off. That's not terrible.
It's not
I was
terrible.
gonna-
I don't know her name, but I know she was someone that
Yeah.
doesn't have a scene and gets killed.
Yeah. I mean, she's just not someone I would normally see in an action movie. I'll just say that.
No, but I know that I've seen her. When I saw her in this, I was like, oh, who's this person? What's she going to do? She's famous enough to do something, just not a lot.
No, she's famous to get killed. So this is where we meet Namor and oh my God, what are his people called?
The blue mother.
The blue. Say that again.
The Telococan.
Well, the Talokan people, underwater blue people. You know, these blue motherfuckers with this fucking creepy sound thing. Like, Rob Wilson, how did you take in the Talokan blue water people? How do you feel about blue water people anyway? Like Atlantean.
Okay. So I knew that they was going to be blue on the land, and then like I knew enough of that. I've read enough comics for that, right? But I wasn't ready for their background, right? So like this kind of took me aback a little bit, because it's like, all right, first movie we find out these dope black people that we never heard of, they're the best in the world, and then like set it up, and it was like, well. We've got another brown superpower, like, and it was interesting. I really kind of I like the idea conceptually, like at the end of the movie of us joining together to like have each other's backs and all the rest of that shit. Yeah,
In theory, yeah.
But like in the beginning, when it was like, we got to put these brownies up against each other, and I was just like, wait a second, I don't know what we're doing, but like I thought it was dope. The more I got into it. You feel me?
Oh yeah. And I mean, to be fair, in the first Black Panther, it was Wakanda versus Wakanda. So it was a little bit more of an internal civil war. I mean, because we're all building up. I can only imagine Black Panther 3 is going to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus leading the charge to invade Wakanda.
Like, 1,000%.
Julia Dreyfus and like Oath Keepers.
Oath Keepers. What does that mean? Oath Keepers?
Like it's a white racist group.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because it has to be that. It has to be, right? It has to be this much of like superpowered racist white people, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, like that's been the fear in every movie. It's like we have to
pointing at the thing. I was like, you're right. It's a podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you feel Rolando is right, you have to tell him.
Yeah.
You're right, Rolando.
Thank you.
So these blue people, the mystical.
They have names. They're Talokans, all right?
The Talokan. Well, I mean, I guess
they're from
Wakandans, the Talokans. And they have this like sing song, like this siren thing that forces people to like jump off the boat and just drown themselves.
Never explained it.
Never explained.
Never explained that part.
And also
never saw the instruments.
Easily defeated with just some earplugs. So okay.
Cool.
It's like powerful, but not that really. But like you can stop it quick.
Right.
Which is interesting. So, you know, I like this scene just as a way to like set up the threat because, you know, I don't know much about Namor, and I'm kind of me and my roommate have been like down on like fish people, like Aquaman's not cool. I'm so sorry. Like Jason Momoa is cool. Aquaman's not cool, and I'm gonna say that.
I wrote a sketch about Aquaman years ago, getting kicked out of the Justice League. It was like you talk to a fish, like that's your whole thing. Like how many fish crimes do we have to
right?
How many fish crimes do we have to figure out?
We got to have a Coast Guard division, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fish people are tough to deal with, especially their weakness is air. like it's not like it's kryptonite, like it's hard to find.
It's just throw dirt on them.
Yeah, like
if you're dehydrated.
But isn't it like if you're surface level, isn't your weakness just water because you can drown because you can't breathe?
Yeah, but like how often do we gotta go down there?
I don't know.
Right.
He was determined.
And Rob Wilson, at this time, I want to turn it to you. I feel like this is a black question for my friend Rob. Do you think there was something to the fact that all these black people had to fight with people that were like water based and like this idea that black people can't swim.
I thought
and we don't
about
fuck
that
with
shit.
the water.
I thought about that shit midstream. I was like, yo, man, did they do this shit on purpose? Did they make it so?
What would terrify Wakanda most?
Right. So it's so the thing that the new Black Panther has to overcome is swimming. Like, and I'm like, no. It's like,
I thought
okay, I saw when they got invaded in Wakanda, and that hit my head. But I also realized when they were like, I already knew like they were like based off Mayan like stuff, you know, and I was like, oh, so they're like Mexican, whatever. And I was like, oh my god, we're actually wetbags.
oh,
and
wow.
then there's that.
I was like, Jesus Christ, Marvel. We're actually you and Holly into this thing. I was like, all right.
I want to say to the credit though, everybody's form was dope. Like it looked like they had, like nobody looked like they had just learned. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They made Angela Bassett in those arms swimming.
Oh yeah, and look, and man, when Angela Bassett had grabbed my girl Riri, and I saw the muscles still glistening, I was like, she still got them guns.
She didn't lose that. Was love got to do with the training? She still got them arms.
Yeah, she still got. I was like, she's staying in the gym. That's what real actors are about. I gotta buckle down. Oh,
what? So you saw Angela Bassett's arm, and you're like, damn, I gotta step it up.
She's 70.
Yeah, she's up there. Okay, so we get introduced to the Telecon people. Namor fucking flies up, whips that helicopter away. You think Lake Bell, like amazing. They basically gave Lake Bell the Drew Barrymore part. Rolando and I were talking about Scream before the recording. Like you think, oh, a recognizable face. She's gonna be in this movie. No. She's there so you recognize the threat.
Mm-hmm. We out here killing stars early. That's what she was there for.
Yeah. So this whole attack was because the CIA had a vibranium detector machine. Later, Namor goes to Shuri and Ramonda and is like, hey, bring the scientist so I can kill them. Wild to ask somebody you've never met before. But while we're here, Namor, however you want to pronounce it, Rolando Lepe.
Yes.
Did this villain work for you?
I think overall I did. I think it worked overall. Like you knew what he wanted. Like it was like why he was doing this because it's for his people. At the end of the day, that's what he wants, and it's a different approach. He's just going like, instead of like, I'm gonna murder everyone and to save my people, which is a very justified like want as a villain, because it makes sense. I want to save my people, and I just thought the way he embodied him, and then I was like, oh, he's like 400 years old or 500 years old. Yeah. And that stuff. So I was wondering if he was kind of more like traditional approaching, but he was still kind of modern, like the way he talked to everyone. But yeah, I thought it worked for me. I thought when he needed to be scary and threatening, he was, but he was still like a king. So he still had to be charming when he had to be, when he went on that nice romantic date with Shuri. And
I don't think it was a date, but okay.
It was a date. They went on a date. He took her to her mom's house. That's what, like, this is something my mom, something papa, my fishes.
He did. He showed her the world. That was a Aladdin style date.
Yeah. It was like, all right, I've been to your place. Let me show you on my block. I'm gonna show you around. That's it. That's all it was. I get it. It's a first date.
I think I'm just learning what heterosexual dates are like. Just pointing things out to people.
But it was. I thought overall, I think the villain worked, and I was very happy to see that actor, Tonech Huerta, that's his name, because he appeared in the Netflix series Narcos, and he was really good in that series. And if you know about his background, he's like an actor from Mexico City, but he's like straight from the hood of Mexico City, and he's very grateful for everything he has. And then I saw an interview with him. They're doing almost like a interview in a car with like a wrestler in Mexico City, and they're driving around Mexico City talking about Black Panther and his career, whatever. And they take him to this area in his old neighborhood, and they have a mural of him now.
Whoa.
And they have him. They have like the jaguar, which is very significant to Mayan culture. They have that symbol that he drew when he's in his cave drawing next to him, and he's wearing the Black Panther, like the same costume he has in Black Panther. And it might be like a promotional thing because they did say Wakanda Forever thing, but it was still like in his neighborhood, and he was just staring at it and he was crying because he's like,
Yeah, of course.
And it was just like, and I was like, I was grateful that he had a good part, and I think he crushed that part. So I think what he had to do in that part, I think he did well.
I loved him for a completely like different petty reason.
Sure.
Like he was a mer person with his shirt off this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And like he looked strong, but he didn't have any of the vanity muscles that they normally have, and that meant something to me. Like I was like, oh, they just let him have like a flat stomach. He didn't have
a swimmer's body.
Yeah.
Is that a swimmer body?
Yeah, like if you
I'm a black dude. I know a lot about you, asshole. No, I feel like you're fooling me, but okay, sure.
No, like Michael Phelps. You see Michael Phelps? He's ripped for a swimmer. He doesn't have like abs or like that type of. He's just has it in his back, on his shoulders, or in his legs, where he needs it because he swims.
I only see swimmers maybe every 4 years, so I'm sorry.
Oh, the Olympics.
Yeah, somewhere. I guess one of those. A time trial.
I guess. But yeah, love this man's body. I would, I have no complaints. I had no complaints every time he was on screen. I'm about it. He fucking rocks as a villain. I love that the idea is basically like Michael B. Jordan's plot, villain plan of like, let's take over the world. But his is like, let's work together and take over the world. Like, isn't that better? Shout out to my Doctor Who fans out there. Very similar to the Master and the Doctor relationship of like, I want to kill with you, not against you. Beautiful. So this sets us up for a fun little trip to the States. Because after Namor reveals that he wants to kill the scientist that made the vibranium detector, Shuri and Ramona are like, we got to protect this person. Why would we do that? We're Wakanda. We're good people. So Shuri and Okoye go to Watson, aka Martin Freeman, aka what's this guy's name? Agent Colonizer.
Bilbo.
Was it? Bilbo? Yeah, Bilbo Baggins to some of you.
Oh shit. I'm blanking on his name, but yeah. Freaking
Agent
Mr.
Ross.
Agent Everett Ross.
Everett Ross. There we go.
This is one of my favorite lines of the movie. Shuri was like, I gotta go see my favorite colonizer. Cut to him. So they meet up. He connects them to the scientist. It was Riri Williams at MIT.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's quickly talk about Riri before we take a break. Rob Wilson, are you aware of the future that is ahead for Riri Williams?
Who are you talking to? Of course I am.
I'm just checking.
You're talking about the incredible, the incomparable, the amazing, the Ironheart. Come on, buddy. Like I want to say the smartest person in the Marvel universe, or at least on Earth in the Marvel universe. Very excited. I gave her comics to my nieces because I'm so interested in young Black girls being really wildly interested in STEM. Her superpower is that she's brilliant. That's she's brilliant. She's Tony Stark without money, and she's better than him. Get out of here, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. True. Love Riri Williams.
Love Riri Williams. Shout out to Isaac Snyder, the only person I know who listens to this podcast. He loaned me his Ironheart comics, and she fucking rocks. She's from Chicago. She's got a really cool backstory, and
it's a tough one, bud.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. This is where my rating of the Black Panther Wakanda Forever starts dropping down.
Wow.
I can tell you why.
Go for it.
Riri Williams was to Black Panther 2 what Shuri was to Black Panther 1. The difference being, and I hate to say it, Chadwick is the person that Shuri gets to be the foil to, whereas Riri has to be a foil to Jesus, Shuri.
Shuri, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Shuri started from a different position. Shuri started from like a sidekick, like I can do pithy stuff position, right? And like now the sidekick has like a sidekick, and it just feels different.
It's like when you're making a copy of a copy, the picture starts to fade a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So like Riri couldn't be like wild, sarcastic, and snarky and make funny, pithy comments to Shuri, because like Shuri's not like an uptight, straight up and down character to start with. So that dynamic was just different. And they tried to put some of that on Okoye, but it just didn't quite get there. That's all.
Maybe that's what I was feeling. It wasn't working for me. It felt like I understood why the character was there, like who made this technology and etc. It's just like it felt like it bugged me, like the way that other character in Doctor Strange, America Chavez, was there as well, and like another like side character, like a young person, because I know what they're trying to set up in the future. But I was like, I don't like, why is this here? I don't want another child in this thing, you know. And I so for me it didn't work. Like I never read Ironheart, so forgive me that I don't know nothing about the backstory. I was like, oh, Chicago flag, that's cool. And but I was like, overall for me in the movie, it just like it didn't work for me. Even her power at the end when she's having her Iron Man suit, like her own suit, that seems so out of place. And then for some reason, it just like the way that I don't know, it threw me off, and it didn't work for me in this movie.
I mean, the final scene, the suit also felt a little jarring for me, and I was like thinking, like, is it because I know it's such a new comic, and I'm like an old school comic fan, so it's like it still takes me a while to adjust to the fact that like newer comics are now getting made into movies, and by newer I mean like made after the year 2000. I understand she's made for, but like I'm still like, I'm here to see the 1960s Marvel comics be made into films, and like the newer comics are still, because I just feel like those older comics have been around for a while, so we can interpret and adapt them, but these newer comics made in the 21st century are still new, and they haven't been given the lifespan as like, let's say like the Phoenix Saga from the X-Men comics. Does that make sense?
Phoenix Saga, the death of every single X-Men series.
That's how it's time to stop making them.
Yeah, it was like, oh, let's do Phoenix. Oh, let's end. I mean, yeah. What you're saying.
Yeah. And much like the Phoenix Saga, which needed to take a break, this podcast is going to take a break right now. We love seamless transitions. When we come back, we're going to talk about Okoye and the rest of the movie. So keep it right here to Podcast 616. We're still talking about Wakanda Forever. We'll be right back.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
Welcome, everyone, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I am your host, Damon Royster, and I am inviting you to listen and subscribe to this Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. On Podcast 616, we gather some of today's greatest comedians, writers, and actors to dive deep into all things Marvel, like comic book history and lore, all the interconnected superhero storylines, and of course, who's hot and who's not in the MCU. Honestly, why aren't you listening right now? You have the power to listen to Podcast 616. And as we always say, with great power comes even greater responsibility. Listen and subscribe to Podcast 616 wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, my name is Sam Post, owner of Phenomenal CBD Store and PhenomenalCBD.com. That's like phenomenal, CBD.com. Tune in where we talk with experts about how the amazing hemp plant can make a difference for people's health and well-being from the Press Play Podcast Network.
And we're back. Okoye, Danae Guerra, a lovely actress. One of my favorite parts of most Marvel movies. A little light in this movie. I don't feel like she had much to do except get fired.
Sometimes you're a necessary piece of the plot. Sometimes you're a springboard for Angela Bassett to get busy. like sometimes that's just the fucking hand you get, I guess. But like, so I mean, where are we timeline wise? They go to the shit. They go to get Riri.
Yeah.
And then they're basically just getting bodied by the, I want to call them Atlanteans, but I know that that's wrong.
the Talokan people.
The Telekan, yeah. So yeah, they're just getting worked, but like it's a necessary part of I feel like it's a necessary part of the superhero movie that you gotta, it's just like Rocky. They gotta get kind of beat up at this point in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like right after having like handled somebody. So they showed you that they were all very capable. And then the bad guy, quote unquote, comes in and just kicks that ass.
Yeah, then I was like, oh, they got whales?
I was almost out. I was like the whale, like freaking Shamu comes through, drops them off.
Wasn't it two of them? Didn't they come to each side?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Two fucking whales.
Like, oh, shit, got whales.
I would have been good with one. When there was
the second one, then the sperm whale came through, and I was like, nope.
We got whales for everybody.
Hell yeah, dude.
But also before, I just want to say the car chase where they're evading the FBI, so fucking great. And also the car chase, it just felt very much, because the car chase in the first Black Panther was also great when they were in Korea. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, this movie is like, we're gonna have car chases. I feel like I'm promised a fucking Black Panther car chase, so I hope they don't disappoint.
And they all feel practical, right?
Yeah, very much. And it was just great to see Shuri on the motorcycle. I was like, okay, she is an action star. It was like, that's what I'll say, because I feel like we haven't talked about Shuri too much. I thought they did a good job of holding back her becoming Black Panther, but also showing you why she would be a good Black Panther with every scene.
Yeah.
Specifically, like with this, like, ambassador. I'd see it more as an ambassador visit than a date. But Rolando Lepe, we're here, so Shuri gets taken.
That is a date, dude. You. I'm bringing you over to my mom's house.
Talk to me about this date.
So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a dress." Kind of bold.
True.
But it was like it reminded me of when the same scene where you see Wakanda for the first time, actually see like the people. It was reflecting the same thing, and that's when I finished the movie and I was like, oh, I get why they have the poster like this. You see the poster,
and it's like inverted.
Yeah, because at the end, then they try to say like we're the different cultures, but we're kind of almost the same.
Can we pause just 1 second? I just want to ask, how do we feel about them trying to make the say it again to help me?
Talokan.
The Talokan hand gesture thing. How do we feel about them?
I hated it. Did not like it.
Force that on us.
I did not like it.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it, Rolando?
Yeah, when I go outside and I'm like walking through Boyle Heights, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, y'all?"
What's good? Kamehameha or whatever.
I'm gonna say Talokan, the hand gesture. It's Morphin time. It's giving Power Rangers like.
Yeah, I thought like Ryu Street Fighter, like that boss. That's what I can imagine. It was like, I was like, what? And I was thinking like, what else can they have done? And I'm like, maybe Ryan Coogler did some research. Maybe that is a traditional Mayan gesture that's somewhere.
I'm so sorry, listener. Rob Wilson is suggesting
I'm doing the Degeneration X,
the Triple H famous suck it.
Yeah, I wanted Namor to go like this, like NWO, too sweet.
I mean, maybe there is something to it, because the Wakanda Forever gesture, because that is referencing to Egyptian kings and pharaohs, right?
And now, then you go down,
and then
it's still the same X. It's just different.
Okay, Rob, you came on the podcast with an agenda, and I respect that.
So the date, they go on this date, and they shows them around,
little vortex in the water thing.
Yeah, like a little candle, like like those bubbles and whatever. And she has to wear a suit. and I thought was so funny. So, like all the technology that they have supposedly underwater, like, oh, but we have this suit from the surface, just get in or whatever.
It makes it. They put no effort into oxygen-based technology. Like, we don't care.
Nobody addresses the fact that somebody literally just died in this a day earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're a white person in this movie, you don't matter.
Truly, good luck to you if you're white and you're in a Black Panther movie.
They were right. It does feel like they don't matter in this movie alone.
Man.
And then they shows them around, shows them like the entire community, their castle, the technology that I still don't fully understand, but whatever.
It's vibranium,
Yeah, it does anything. I could build a sun.
And isn't this where we get his backstory? Doesn't he tell her how they all came to be?
Yeah, and that was cool. I like that backstory. I thought it was very well done.
They call me no love, girl.
Yeah,
bring it back to my life.
Yeah, I'm a Ja Rule.
My mama's bracelet.
You say Ja Rule. I was gonna say it's a Drake song. Rob,
yeah, it is.
What Ja Rule Drake? Do you have a different?
Yeah, what feels like Namor? Who is Ja Rule or Drake?
I'm
Namor?
so sick of love.
I feel like it's got to be more Drake than, because like
no love.
Namor doesn't growl at all. So like it can't be Ja Rule.
And he is obsessed with his mama.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right, Namor.
Come to find out, his name is Aubrey. Hey,
the Drake of the Sea.
You hiding a child.
Great.
I like
and also, we get a shout out. He calls himself a mutant. Yes. That was pretty huge.
Yeah, that is good.
Damien, can I ask you a question regarding his
You
wings?
can call me my right name.
My bad. Can I ask you a question regarding his wings?
Wow. Sure. No apology. Sure. Ask me your question.
No apologies. Moving forward. Never look back.
I am sorry for Rolando.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you, Rob.
No problem, Damon.
Damon.
What's your question?
Do you like his wings?
Okay. On the page, no. In film, yes. Because that chest is great. And I think he leads with the chest. Like when he rises, the chest pops. And I think that I'm like, okay. Like he just looks so so manly. Like, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, I'm rising above you. Like he rises with like an intimidating look that makes you not even consider the wings.
Okay.
But were you not a fan of this? Who is it? The Greek god Hermes?
That's correct, Hermes. When they showed him as a baby with the wings, I was like, oh, that looks that imagery work. But as an adult, I was like, are these wings ever going to grow?
How big do you want his ankle wings to be?
I don't know.
He's got to wear those sandals.
I heard that's the one thing that stood with me. I was like, I don't know about these fucking wings, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I was willing to let them rock. Like once they exist, like these things exist. I get it, but like conceptually, I think back to the writer, and I was just like, what? But why did you put these shits on my boy? Because he wanted him to swim on land too. I guess you'd be able to move the same. I guess, but like, looks stupid as fuck.
I think they did a good job making it not look. Because I wasn't like, oh, he's so goofy. I was still like intimidated by him because he was like taking out these fucking planes and shit when he was flying on the wings.
I get it, but that was like that willing to like once they existed, like you kind of had to let them rock. But like when I first saw him, it was like,
look, I just want someone out there to take footage of Namor flying around and set it to "On the Wings of Love" because I think that'd be really funny.
I did like his rollerblade technique when he's flying. It was like a speed skater.
Yeah. I think he looked cool. Like he had like a very like hummingbird way of like flying. So like, I don't know. So if you're asking me, I'm pro. If you're asking Rob, he's anti. So it's up to you, Rolando, to take that information and grow as you will.
Sure. But I love the backstory because it's interesting and because it also had some reality about with the Spanish conquest and Latin America. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. And that stuff worked. And I was like, okay, I understand why this is this and why their culture is still the same from the 1500s. Or later than that. I'm not sure how old is he?
My only thing, the idea that they would like see this space shiny stuff and like, let's eat it. Let's eat it all.
That makes
And
sense.
it's like, oh no, we're blue and can't breathe. I don't know.
That makes sense. How do you like? You're like in a civilization. You're growing as humans. You're gonna try shit.
That's true. I mean, yeah, the stuff we put in our bodies.
When you first start drinking, you telling me you ain't have a blue drink, like a glowing blue drink?
Okay.
I knew I tried it before I found out it was garbage, but I tried it though. The shit looks like fun.
Shout out to the fishbowl from Schoolyard Tavern in Chicago.
Shout out to the Blue Hawaiians at the Edge back in Norfolk, Virginia.
Shout out to the 99 cents juice at the Hardin and Wicker Park.
The juice. All right. So we get this backstory. What happens after that? Is this where, oh my God, we get finally, Ramonda goes to Haiti, recruits the spy of spies, Nakia. Lupita Nyong'o. Y'all need to shut up for 1 second. Lupita Nyong'o, she can't look bad. She is never that woman. I've never said a bad thing about Lupita Nyong'o. She looks good every fucking day. Every angle of her is perfection. She is gorgeous. The hair is immaculate. The face is flawless. Even when she put on them dumb little glasses when she was spying, I was like, look at you. Look at you being a cute nerd. I love Lupita. I love Nakia. She is the best. She's what I'm here for. Thank you very much. Do you guys have anything to say about Nakia?
She's just one of those people who, like, whenever they down and out, I just always wonder, I was like, well, why don't you just like go and be a model? Like in whatever world you're living in. Because even among movie stars, she looks like a damn movie star.
Yeah.
Which is it's just like, I mean, you don't have to teach these kids, just go be a model and then just use the money there to buy a new orphan. You don't have to find bottles. You know what I'm saying? You could use your supermodel contract to just, I don't know, build them a whole new building. I don't know. But like,
you're saying the character Nakia in the universe of Marvel should be a model.
I just think that Lupita and Halle, both in literally whatever movie that they're in, could just, I don't know, solve all the problems of the movie with their ridiculous beauty. But
it's so silly how beautiful she is.
It's insane. But beyond that, like she's a magnificent badass in this thing. Like the way she goes and just the queen comes is like, look, I can't find a princess. The greatest general on earth just got beat up. You think you can? And she's like, nah, no problem. And like 5 minutes later, everything's kind of okay.
It's also, we didn't talk about that scene, like when Ramonda is dressing down Okoye, but like it's so funny how Wakanda has like a zero tolerance policy for failure. Like you fail once, you're out.
She kind of, I mean, she had two L's, pretty big L's. Like, you know, the whole thing with Killmonger and her like being that hop and being like, oh, I guess I fuck with you now. It's like, that's tough to deal with. And then she was like, no, don't worry, I got the princess, it's good. And literally,
yeah, maybe not good at her job.
Yeah, like it's just like, damn, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You know that this is my only blood relative left. And she's like, nah, I got it. Don't worry about it. It's cool. We just going to MIT.
Damn. Okay, I have an idea. Because I wrote in my notes like maybe Okoye is only good as a bodyguard for somebody who already has superpowers. So do we think Okoye is on par with Jon Favreau's Happy? Because Happy was the bodyguard of Iron Man.
Wow.
No, I'm not going there. Jesus,
I'm just saying.
Happy got defeated by like a fucking like a lighting post or some bullshit in Spider-Man 3 or something. Like, no.
Well, and also he survived an explosion.
Well, because he's giant.
I'm just saying, like, when you're the bodyguard to the Black Panther, it's like, do you need to be?
It's just the level of disrespect of that question. Like that, it's just
Christ. I didn't even go there.
It's just the level of disrespect. Like that's insane. I get what you're saying, but like you could have used anybody else. Like
I went to the bottom of the barrel. That's true.
You went deep.
I think I think Okoye took a hit this movie. Do you see that fucking Guardian Angel? That fucking dumb blue suit she's in?
Oh, I hate that suit. What the fuck is that?
God.
Get
It's in
out
the
of here.
comics though. It's in the comics though.
Is that what it looks like?
Kind of close, but like
Girl,
better,
we need to update.
obviously. Also,
kidding me?
Ironheart's suit looks completely different than it does in the books.
Mhm.
It's just it's a little too bulky. Her shit looks just like, like an Iron Man suit, but sleeker and like sleeker instead of bigger. So
I didn't mind that for Ironheart because there's gonna be an Ironheart series, so like I can only imagine they're gonna
they'll fix it.
Yeah, she didn't keep that suit, so like that, like I think that was good to have, like like Tony's first suit was a little bulky, so
They already showed us her first suit, and that was actually closer to the book, the one that she leaves in.
Yeah.
Anyway, but sorry. I don't think she sucks. She got Apollo created basically in this movie for certain. You know what I mean? Like Apollo was at least as good as Rocky, like throughout Rockies, right? But like they had to let the Russian dude kill him to push the story forward, which is crazy. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
I was going back to the question about Lupita as Nakia. So she popped up in the movie, and this is a sidebar. Does she her eyes red, or is that just contacts or something? Or was I not paying attention? Or is that just her hair making her eyes look red?
I mean, there's like I know what you mean. There's like some kind of it's not like a clean white.
I wasn't, but no biggie. But when I was watching, I was like, "Fuck!" I already like Lupita's like super attractive, but then she came on, and I was like, and this I don't look at my phone. This is the only time I grab my phone and I followed her on Instagram.
What part? Like the first
when
time
she
you saw
popped
her?
up, yeah. I was like, I don't know, something about that look. I was like, I took out my phone. I was like, follow.
I know what it is about that. Nothing.
and I was like, whew. So every time she came on, every time she like was in the movie, I was like, I can't concentrate.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, no woman, no cry. We love it. All right, so Nakia rescues Shuri and Riri from Namor.
By the way, whatever.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, this unknown city no one's ever been to, and yet three people meet it.
It was like you're going to a bottomless pool. It's right there.
Oh, over there. Okay. So they go back to Wakanda, but Namor. This is what I love. This, I think, also, Rolando, we were talking about House of the Dragon before we started recording. This is what House of the Dragon should be. Namor was like, if you take the princess, I'm gonna kill you. He said that, and then he did. Which I'm not happy. Angela Bassett. This is a big spoiler. I'm not happy Angela Bassett died in this movie, but I like a villain that sticks up for their word. Like.
I watched many movies. I knew she was going to die. They front loaded her too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
They front loaded like as far as the story and shit went, and I was just like, God damn it! Like
big moments.
I thought Winston Duke character, which I always butcher,
M'Baku.
I thought he was going to die because I thought he was still too on his proud, like, and I thought, oh, he's going to get like tore the fuck up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was like. Sad she drowned.
It was very sad. Like, it's sad on so many levels. Let's talk about them. But like, I love that she, it's still a superhero movie, and I'm a sucker for that. I have a podcast, but I love that she died a hero. She died trying to save Riri, using those powerful Bassett arms to swim down and get her. And it's so sad that she drowned because this is where we fully pivot to Shuri, because it's like her father died. Her brother died, and now her mom died, and like it's brutal. It's brutal, but I think to what Rob was saying, I think it was necessary for the story to go forward.
Well, I mean, you got to think about, if I'm thinking at a larger scale, this movie was as much about death and loss as the balance between science and the spirit, right? Like, and kind of like. All of these things work together for our good seemed to be kind of the consensus that they came to toward the end. And in order for her to have a deep spiritual tether, like one that would come eventually, even just logistically, she needed to pass so that eventually this person would be the person that they see on the next plane, that comes to them in the next plane, because there's that big, huge thing that predates this whole conversation where Shuri's like, I don't believe in this shit.
Yeah.
But then when they make their transformation, they're just hoping that they were wrong. You know what I mean? And for us to come full circle, the queen needed to pass. So though it sucked, like, this was really nice work on Coogler, or I don't know how much he was in the writing room as well, but like,
he co-wrote it.
Yeah. I think that this was necessary, especially if we're telling this particular story. Yeah.
And a little bit on, totally agree with everything you said. And for Angela Bassett's character, this is where my little few film classes I've taken kick in, of like, you know, her drowning in her grief over her death of her son. And I think it was so kind of like dark and twisted how she never really had a healing moment with Okoye, because like the last time they spoke, Ramonda was just dressing her down and firing her from the Dora Milaje. And then, you know, and then she drowned, and then she died drowning, because it just was like, because didn't she like kind of sink into it, because you know the throne room was flooded.
Yeah, sure.
Beneath the floor, she was beneath floor level, drowned, which is, there's something to it's. She didn't even get back to normal. You got
right.
If that's the ground level, that's the baseline. She couldn't even get back to normal. There's something deep about that, man.
Yeah. God, I can't. For all the shit I gave of like fish people being the villain, they really made it work. All right, so then we have what's up, Rolando? Did you raise your hand?
I think I'm gonna start calling myself, when I write my taxes by ethnicity, I'm gonna put fish people.
You're gonna put. Well, hopefully there's a write-in section.
I hope so. I think there is. It's other.
Tolokan. I think at this point, Shuri, let's just get to the Black Panther of it all. Shuri goes back to her 3D printer, recreates, I like this, using the necklace of Namor's mother to like get a little bit of that extra vibranium help, and creates a new heart-shaped herb. She takes it. She has her own vision in the ancestral plane. Who does she fucking see? I couldn't believe it.
My boy.
Is this your king?
Yeah.
What up,
Killmonger.
Hey, what up, Mom?
It makes so much.
Little cuz?
This is where she's at. You know what I'm saying? He's on that petty shit. He was on that petty shit. He's the king of petty. Yeah, I was happy to see him, honestly. Yeah,
I wasn't sure. And they did such a good job of like, I wasn't sure that we were going to see him, but then like he was mentioned so much, and I was like, okay, maybe that's it. Because like this truly is a sequel where like you have to see the first Black Panther to get what's going on. Which, you know, if you didn't think that, you're an idiot. But yeah, so great to see Michael B. Jordan. Fucking great throne room scene, and then we get out of that. She's got the power. She's the Black Panther. We go have this moment with M'Baku. I get to see my husband, Winston Dukes. Dukes to me. He great. He
had too much. I think. Are we gonna do? We'll talk about it later. There's someone for all of us to fall in love with.
Oh yeah.
In these movies, like there's a plethora. Everybody's having a good time. That's all. I'm sorry. Everybody's very pretty.
Gorgeous. Wakanda's a gorgeous place.
God, it's great.
I'm just going to take it to the final fight at this point, just so we can wrap up. Rolando Lepe, you own a submarine. What do you think of the Wakandans' battle plan?
I thought it was shit. I was like, why are you doing this? You're such a disadvantage. The whole point is being in water. Like, get the fuck out of the water. Like, I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what military strategy is this?
Well, they wanted to capture Namor, so
M'Baku told them, if we kill Namor, he's not a king, he's the god.
God.
Yeah, he's a god. So you're killing their god. You don't think they're not gonna stop. So that's that idea of like, all right, you're such a disadvantage. and I don't think we saw the whole army of Telocan, whatever. But there's a bunch of Mexicans, man. We have a lot of babies, dude. So I imagine there's just a bunch of them just running loose down there and just coming up out of the water, taking this shit down. So I was like, this is a bad strategy, and this is where I felt weird about the movie, where I was like, why? I understood the character of Shuri having vengeance, and that's where I was feeling uncomfortable. Man, there's a lot of black and brown crime happening right here. I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the purpose of this, and I feel very like, I don't know about this.
I mean, yes, I hear you. I can only say White Death is coming. Keep that in the podcast. I can only say that has to be what's coming in the third one. But
God,
I mean,
so.
I know it's not great. And this is my thing. I think this movie is so long, but also not long enough, because this whole arc of Shuri wanting vengeance, then choosing not vengeance, it came so late. I was like, man, are we really just going to end with her being a vengeful Black Panther? Because there just wasn't enough time for her to become Black Panther, want vengeance, and then learn that vengeance isn't the answer. So it kind of felt like really stuffed and smushed together in the third act.
Her mom was the Deus Machina.
Yeah.
That was what was necessary. I feel like that's been the thing, like if it's running long, we just come in with some shit. It was like, this kind of makes sense. We figured it out.
Right.
But like to Rolando's point, like, yeah, this is the dumbest fucking plan that I have ever heard of in my whole motherfucking life. Like, you want to go to where the water people are? She was like, we go to a place, just like a remote water person place. So like, there's no help anywhere. And you just put it was like, oh, our boat is fine. Like, this boat is gonna make it. Also, like, I know she's vengeful, but she's supposed to be one of the smartest people on earth. Are you fucking serious? I don't care how many mothers you had that died. Like, it could be 3. I'm just saying, like, none of this makes any fucking sense.
Yeah.
This is where I was. That's why I told you at the top, where I was like, there's a lot of themes happening. If that was the sole theme of her like becoming the Black Panther and doing vengeance, and that was like more of, and her dealing with her grief and all that stuff, I think that works as in the whole movie. But then you tack in this other thing about, it's not there, but it's there about like 2 different cultures clashing with each other. That's so much. That's another thing on another thing and another thing. And for me, that's why it wasn't working when I was watching it. Because you want me to feel depressed, you want me to feel grief, and then you're also, and then you have this other character. Then you're doing these flashbacks of Chadwick when every time they showed him, there was never no music. And which is, I thought was great, but it's like it kept going. So that's why in that middle chunk between the both acts, that's where my head, I was like, this is fine, but it's not working with me.
Yeah. Fair, very fair. But then we get this, like you said, Rob, Deus Ex Machina. We see Ramunda saying like, "Show him who you are." Shuri remembers the obvious things that we all saw, that, oh yeah, Talokan and Wakanda are literally the same place, and we both have hand gestures that symbolize unity. And it's like, yeah, she didn't get that. Like, she's like, oh yeah, like, and she didn't say it. It was just like all through these like flashback clips. And I just think like, man, there could have been like, I don't know, like, I wish she had met someone at Talokan, like, the classic thing of like, meet a small girl who gives her like a water flower, and she's like, oh right, the water flower.
She did. She saw that they didn't give her the shit, but she met the little girl and the little boy who was like, yum yum. They did like a little two Hadoukens at her real fast. Like, oh shit, Hadoukens.
All right, can we get? I know you skipped ahead a little bit, but we should cover it. When Namor stabbed her ass, did you think it was over? Did you think, oh, this girl's dead? Like, they're going to like move on? Because I was like, wow, that's a fucking choice. And I was like, I guess this is it. I was like, fuck it. And I thought Nakia was going to be the new Black Panther. Because I was like, there's no way Lupita comes back for this, just for this small little part. I was like, there's no way. Like, she becomes the Black Panther.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think everybody was willing to come back for this one. Just
I
for
totally
Chadwick.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I was just like in the story of everything. I was just like, man, he got killed, and I was like in the theater, I was like, it was quiet as fuck, and people gasped, and that was like only one of the few big reactions I heard from the audience. And my sick ass was like, fuck, man, I guess Namor won. I guess I guess Namor was right. I don't know.
I read for Namor.
You in there practicing your hand gestures.
Yeah, I was like this.
Like, of course I didn't think she was dead. Like, I mean, it's only because I've seen a movie before, Rolando.
Damn.
Damn.
Like you showed up late and then jumped on your ass.
Jesus Christ.
I just no, I mean, I couldn't possibly believe that in the movie named Black Panther, that they just let the Black Panther get bodied again right after the first one died. No,
when you hadn't seen a Black Panther for 2 hours, and then we finally seen one, and she did.
And they were like, oh man, we finally got this Black Panther, and it was like, stab her.
I was like, Mary Ryan was like, man, honestly, man, this is kill the whole thing. I want like the community of Wakanda to move forward. And I was like, I guess we kill the thing and then we just start again for something completely from scratch. I don't know.
So they just call it like Wakanda and Friends and no longer Black Panther?
Yeah, it's like the next thing is like the movie Wakanda, and it's like, I don't know. To me, I honestly, I was like, man, because this is one thing I had about the movie. Letitia Wright. I know she was a side character and she's been in other stuff, but as a lead, for me, she does not work. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just huge shoes to fill.
I totally get that, and that's why I feel weird about it, and that's why I was like, I enjoyed it, but as involved, and I'm watching it as a viewer, and I'm trying to and I'm just watching it, enjoying the experience. It's still like, man, she's not. I don't know if she's the lead for this, unfortunately, but she has to be. Someone has to be.
Someone has to be. I liked what she was doing. I'll say that. Like she wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't like she like phoned it in.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
And that's what I mean by this movie. It's like, we have to do this. We have to do this movie. This is the movie that had to be made. And go ahead.
They set it up like, I mean, there's some parallels in the actual comics to this, right? To where like Shuri takes over at one point, right?
Yep.
So like I knew that was like even before we knew about Chadwick, I knew that was a possibility, right? Yeah, it's hard, especially coming from the character that she was, to make that arc make sense for her to get to where she needs to be. It's asking for an Angela Bassett level of skill and quality. And I will say that her supporting cast does everything that they can to get her to that Winston Duke, Angela Bassett, like even your boy, the Hobbit. Like he Okoye, did what little she could. Riri was new, but like
damn.
Riri.
Slam and your favorite character.
Don't go for Riri. Damn.
I love the character. Anyhow, but like I think that it's gonna be tough for us to swallow that pill. Maybe next one where she starts as the Black Panther, but we have a new T'Challa. So
we do. To kind of wrap up the movie, they come to this truce. I will say this is what Superman versus Batman was trying to do with the fucking Martha thing. This makes more sense. Like the idea that it's not that we both have mothers with the same name, but like we both have lost mothers. We both know loss. Fucking Zack Snyder. I know you're listening to my podcast. That's what you should do. Anyway, they come to a truce and they're like, let's support each other. We're going to keep Talokan a secret. They're not going to kill us. And I fucking love Namor and his cousin. I found out this is his cousin. Namora is her name. And she's like, why did you just give up? And he's like, oh, the white people are going to come for Wakanda and then they're going to need our help. We're going to have this war because it's inevitable, because Julia Louis-Dreyfus, fucking Elaine, is salivating at the chance for some vibranium in her life.
Sweet vibranium.
She would do that fucking Elaine dance at a wedding when if she can get some vibranium in her hands. She'd love it. I think we go Okoye in her dumbass angel outfit rescues Ross. I guess he's going to Wakanda. I guess he's going to be a new white resident.
Yeah.
The new White Wolf.
The new White Wolf. Fucking Ross. And then Shuri goes to Haiti, visits Lupita, and we meet a new baby T'Challa. She was pregnant. She had T'Challa's baby.
What's the timeline of this? Is this like, it just takes place right after? Did they have? I guess I'm assuming that they had the baby already prior of Black Panther, or it's after Black Panther.
So
they have to. Oh, good.
So it's after Black Panther, and it's after the 5-year snap of Endgame.
Oh yes. I forgot about the 5-year snap.
So I like to think that she was pregnant when T'Challa got snapped, and so she pretty much like how Iron Man had a kid. So like she had, because I don't know if Lupita's character Nakia got snapped away, but she was pregnant. He came back. They decided to hide the baby in Haiti. I assume, and we got confirmation that Ramunda did know about it. And yeah, I mean, it was so nice. It was such a nice. I really needed it after this heavy movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried. Because they were by that water, and I was like, "Oh my god, is something gonna happen?"
I mean, black people buy water. You always gotta be worried.
No, I was just like, because the kid was kind of cheating towards camera, and I was like, "Oh man, is this kid gonna get speared? It's like, what's gonna happen in this movie?"
Like Namor is gonna just spear.
Why are you just trying to kill the Black Panther?
I'm not. I'm just like, I was like, why choose water? And then I was like, are the Talakans gonna come out of the water and be like with their kids or some bullshit? Like, I don't know, but not of course that didn't happen. Yeah,
that did not happen. Thankfully, young T'Challa is still alive. Shuri realized she's not alone. She's got a nephew to take care of, and I like that. I like because she was the youngest in her family, and now she is the matriarch, and she has someone to take care of. And I think that's such a fun journey for her to go on.
It gets to be Queen Mother, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. And what's also nice, in addition to being Queen Mother, is playing Queen Fuck Marry Kill. Not my best transition, but here we are. It's time for our Fuck Marry Kill segment. I can't believe I'm doing this. I wish I could just do the ancillary characters, but you know what? There's some beautiful people in this movie that should be married and fucked, and one will have to be killed. So for today's episode, we are going to be on the docket. We've got Shuri, Nakia, and Okoye. Fuck, marry, kill. I'll go first to give my guests time to think. Oh boy, just for the record, I don't want to kill any of these characters, but this is the game we play, and I'm gonna kill Okoye. She just doesn't do it, and I go by what Angela Bassett says, and you know what? Okoye, I hate her outfit. I hate the ensemble. I probably couldn't kill her. I'd probably send someone else to do it for me, because she's a deadly assassin, and soldier and warrior. But that's my kill. My fuck will have to be. This feels disgusting to do, but I have to fuck Shuri. I know she's so sad. We're just gonna have a tearful, sad meet up with each other. We'll probably both cry for different reasons while it's happening. And that is my choice there because I'm going to marry Nakia. Lupita Nyong'o, she looks so good. She's a spy. We can get into anywhere. She can easily find underwater civilizations in a day. Who wouldn't want to be married to someone like that? Those are my choices. Rolando Lepe, I'm going to go to you. Who are your picks?
I'm going to kill Shuri. I don't need a sad pants in my life. I don't need it. Too sad. Don't need it.
Too sad.
I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I don't need it. I'm gonna fuck Okoye, but she has to be in not in her royal outfits, but in her civil outfits.
So, yeah.
That's where I'm banging. If you can do, like that glass window that they have at the palace.
Yes.
We'll do against that. And
I don't need to know where.
I'm gonna marry Nakia. Lupita, man, goddamn, beautiful. God, so beautiful. Just love her.
Say
got
it.
the dance. She's so beautiful, so like brilliant person, and she speaks Spanish too. And
She did, yeah.
yeah, but she speaks Spanish in general, Lupita, and she got that thing that Rob's doing. And there's a great TikTok of her and Mr. Namor doing this like very popular Mexican dance, and I was like, she is throwing it down, and I was like, gotta marry this bro. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta figure her out. I have to track her. I have to figure this out.
This is incredible. I've seen that video. It's great.
Yeah, she's throwing it down. They were doing like a press conference in Mexico City, and she's like, "Damn!" She's like, I was like, not surprised, but damn, they're going at it. And I was like, God, I hope they fuck. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I was looking at him, but yeah, I agree. Great video. Rob.
Like an angsty white kid from the suburbs. I just want to be contrary, and not pick what y'all picked, because like y'all picked great choices, but like I want to go a different way. I won't. I'm gonna kill Shuri. She showed us she's so smart, she's stupid on a regular basis. On a regular basis, like she's dope at comic relief, but at the same time, like it's not my king. Nakia, I will marry her. That thing is unquestionable. Jesus God. Outside of just being just the most qualified person to do literally any job. They made her a spy because she's good at all of the goddamn jobs. Like everybody's job. She was better than Okoye, who I'm just gonna fuck because I don't need to keep her around forever.
Wow.
But at the same time, I'm gonna give them wild ass shoulder pads a try. And that's it. Like I went crazy the last time I did fuck, marry, kill. I'm keeping it real simple today. Yeah.
You think this is simple?
Marry Nakia, kill Shuri, fuck Okoye. Yeah, I gave my reasoning. We did it. We out.
Thank you so much.
Love
Man. Thank you so much, fellas. If you wanted to hear a fuck, marry, kill where we only had men to choose, listen to our Black Panther 1 podcast.
Can we do
the world?
I could do a man too.
I'll do a man one too right now. Whatever you want.
Y'all, I got to get to a wedding and I got to eat something. So we got to wrap this up. Friends are getting married. Okay. Thank you both so much for doing this podcast. Rob Wilson, where can people find you online?
You can see me on Instagram, Rob, ROB_ Will, WILLSUN. Yeah, a bunch of cool stuff's going on, and you can see all of it there.
Beautiful. Rolando Lepe, where can find you? And also, is there a show happening in December?
Yes, you could find me at Instagram at LEPENANDO. That's Lepenando. Or you could just search my name, Rolando Lepe. I should pop up. And yeah, if you like this, doing a comedy show December 15th at the Airliner Theater here in lovely Los Angeles, California.
Beautiful. My name is Damon Royster. You can follow this podcast 616, at podcast616P3 on Twitter. That P3 stands for Press Play Productions. They are the wonderful network that gives me the opportunity to do this podcast. Thank you, everybody. You can follow me at Damon Royster 88 on Twitter and just Damon Royster on Instagram. I've got shows coming up. Knowing myself, I'll post about it online. You'll see. Honestly, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably follow me on social media already. So you'll see. Kicking it over to our producer, Michael. Michael, if you want to hop on the mic real quick, what letter grade would you give this podcast as we spoiled the movie? Because you hadn't seen Wakanda Forever, correct?
No. I wish I would have seen it, but spoilers don't bother me. I'll give you guys an A+. I love this one.
Michael, that's why I do it. If I don't get graded, I won't work hard. All right. Thank you guys so much for doing this podcast. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Rolando. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Wakanda Forever, a film I will return to in some time. I need to process it, but I will return to it again because it was a very good film. And I think the true winner today is Ryan Coogler. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Also, let me know if you're listening to this podcast. Hello, Isaac. Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back with the Guardians Christmas special. But until then, listen to our old episodes. And always remember that with great power comes even greater responsibility.